Good evening, everyone. We will begin the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for the permission to participate today in God's divine plan of constructing paradise on this earth. Let us pray together the Amatsu-Norito Prayer of Heaven, followed by the Miroku Prayer. Please stand. 高天原にかむすまります。かむろぎかむろみのみこともちて、かむいさなぎのみことつくしのいもかのたちはなのほどのあはぎはらにみそぎはらいたもうときになりませるからいどの神たちもろもろのまがみけがれを洗いたまえ清めたまえとまおすことのよしを天つかみくにつかみやおよろずの神たちともに雨の淵駒の耳振り立ててきこしめせとかしこみもまおす弥勒を三神守りたまえ先はえたまえ弥勒を三神守りたまえ先はえたまえ教えみよや主の神守りたまえ先はえたまえ教えみよや主の神守りたまえ先はえたまえかんながらたまちはえませかんながらたまちはえませ Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truths given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei. Johrei is now concluded. For reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. Education. Real education teaches people to discern right from wrong. It teaches only the truth. Physical knowledge alone will never suffice. True education deals with spiritual matters. Let us pave the way to higher understanding. In the world today, superficial knowledge is increasing, while true wisdom is becoming more and more scarce. In a parent-child relationship abounding in mutual love, the children many of the adults' characteristics through the spiritual courts. For this reason, if people expect their children to be good, they must first be good themselves. If they have not set a proper example, admonishing the young ones for bad behavior will have little or no effect. Teachers, especially, should realize what an important influence they exert upon their students through the spiritual course. Founders of religions or orders, priests and ministers all have an exceedingly strong influence on members or devotees because they are held in such reverence and are looked up to with so much respect. These individuals should be more conscientious than anyone else. The parents are like the trunk of the tree. The boughs are the children, and smaller branches are the grandchildren. Just as no branch is unaffected by the trunk, so it is impossible that the spiritual clouds and spiritual virtues of the parents should fail to influence the offspring.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the Miroku Association headquarters evening service. Thank you also for directing your prayers along with us for world peace. This evening, I want to share with you the faith experience here. Just a minute. It's from Aurelia dos Ramos Sacramento Penhor. She's from the Trindade Johrei Center in São Tomé and Príncipe. Aurelia is a lay leader and the person in charge for the Trindade Johrei Center. The faith experience that she wishes to share with us is about how she became a Johrei member and the changes that have taken place in her life. In the initial phase of her journey in our faith, Aurelia went through several purifications which she could overcome thanks to the assistance she received and by giving herself in service. In 2012, she was granted permission to travel to Angola on a family visit, where she ended up staying for 2.5 years. As a Johrei member, she was anxious to visit Luanda and meet Meishu-sama there, since she lives in São Tomé and Príncipe. It didn't take long for her to get to know a Johrei group in the locality known as Ndondo Chapé, and without thinking twice, she began to regularly attend that Johrei gathering place. With the participation in the center's activities and deepening the tasks she received, Aurelia received permission to dedicate herself in places of greater light, such as the headquarters of Africa, the site of the future sacred grounds of Kakwaku, as well as the nature farms of Bom Jesus e Libongo. With these dedications, her sister, who joined Aurelia going to the Johrei Center, was given a new car from her husband, who in turn received a company vehicle to commute and perform his job duties. Upon her return to São Tomé from Angola, Aurelia received gifts of a washing machine, a freezer, plus amount of money. As soon as she got home, she resumed her dedications and subsequently was appointed as the person in charge for the Johrei gathering place in her neighborhood. She embraced this assignment with all her heart, diligently fulfilled her obligations, while following the guidance she had been receiving from her minister. Thanks to the permission from the Supreme God and Meishu-sama, the Johrei gathering place formed 16 new members and 10 people had the picture of a kannon dedicated in their homes. Several other faith experiences followed, which she would like to share with the most remarkable ones. Aurelia works as a housekeeper for a lady for approximately 5 years. In an evening of December last year, this lady suffered a domestic accident, fracturing her left kneecap. She returned to Aurelia for help, who left her home that same night to take care of her, considering she lives alone. On arriving there, Aurelia soon noticed that her condition was very concerning, as she was unable to stand up by herself. Aurelia indeed took care of her, but that required her absence from her own home, as well as absence from the Johrei Center. Aurelia prayed, asking God and Meishu-sama for his strength and wisdom, not to get into the mood of suffering, and began intensively channel Johrei. The lady's case required her to travel abroad to undergo a surgery, and a trip was scheduled after some bureaucratic procedures. The day before her trip, she was informed that she could no longer be traveling because something was missing from her medical report. Upon hearing this, she asked Aurelia to unpack her suitcase. Aurelia was disappointed because with the lady's potential trip, Aurelia would have more time available for her commitments at the Johrei Center. She asked herself and Meishu-sama, wondering what she was supposed to do. In her prayer, she asked to be used as an instrument to bring light to all the lady's ancestors who were suffering, while managing to channel Johrei to the lady all night long. Fascinatingly, Aurelia did not feel the need to go to bed. To her surprise, the next day, at around 3 p.m., they received a call from the office that had informed about the postponement of her trip, saying that now she was free to travel. Thrilled, she asked Aurelia to repack her suitcase and happily traveled to Portugal, leaving the house in Aurelia's care. It was with this blessing that she was granted permission to have enough time and space available to take care of the gathering place in preparation for receiving the divine scroll to become a de facto a Johrei Center. On the 19th of April of this year, they were graced and with great joy and gratitude. They had the opening ceremony of the Trindade Johrei Center, led by the head minister of our movement in Africa. On the Saturday before their monthly appreciation service in May, when she was giving service at the outer room of their headquarters, Aurelia directed her thoughts to her boss ancestors, with the intention of sending the light of Meishu-sama to her boss through the dedication she was offering. At the end of the dedication, she got a call from a gentleman saying he had a gift from Aurelia's boss for her granddaughter. It was a laptop that represented significant help, considering that her granddaughter studies computer science. Aurelia learned that we must put everything in the hands of God and Meishu-sama while doing our part, that we will be bestowed with blessings. Aurelia is very thankful to God and Meishu-sama, as well as to her ancestors, for allowing her to be introduced to this wonderful path of salvation. Thank you very much for attending this evening service, for listening to this faith experience. I wish you a wonderful weekend.
This brings to a conclusion our evening Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We wish you a very blessed day.